So I just got to Preston Travelodge on end of day one, 213 miles. It's been really hot all day. Got here at 11:15 at night, still in shorts and short sleeves. Amazing, this place. They've actually got a cafe just done me in a brilliant baguette. Just sort of see the room, it's just ideal. They let you bring the bike in. Cheap, cheerful, convenient. Means I can leave when I want to. It's just actually ideal. If you book them early enough, like I did this one, 30 quid. I mean, can't complain at that. Anyway, trying to wash my hands, demolish that meal, then sit and soak in a hot bath, then get a few hours sleep. So it's about 4:30. I woke up naturally about 4 o'clock, just before the alarm went off. That's always really good. Feels like I've had quite a good night's sleep. So I'm just about to head off into the dark. You can see it over there. Going to be going up through Preston, running parallel to the M6 on the A6. Two big climbs for today are the Shap and then Hartside Pass, going across the Pennines over to the east coast. And then tonight I'm going to be in the vicinity of Lindisfarne around about 10 o'clock. The tidal causeway becomes usable from about 10:15 onwards. So hopefully a night visit to Lindisfarne. Plan to get off Lindisfarne again before 4:30 in the morning, ride down the coast and find somewhere, heading back south, ride down the coast and find somewhere to bivvy up for the night. I'm going to be looking for bus shelter or church porch, farm outbuilding, something like that, just for a few hours sleep. And then the long ride down to Barnsley. So it's 7 o'clock on Tuesday, second day. I've been on the road 26 hours now. And this time yesterday, 7 o'clock, I've just crossed the Severn Bridge and now I'm in the middle of Lancaster. The other thing I meant to say, left the Travelodge at 5 o'clock this morning. That means I've been on the road 24 hours, which means subtract 24 from 98, my maximum time limit. That's down to 74 hours left. And my Garmin's saying estimating 54 hours to finish. That doesn't take into account any stops, but it just shows I've got a buffer at the moment of 20 hours, which is always really good. And I'm probably going to eat into those 20 hours, you know, the more tired I get. But just at this point, it gives me a chance to sort of evaluate how I'm doing, and it's positive because I'm sort of like got a nice time in hand. So this is the summit of Shap, the first of the two big climbs today. The road straight after Kendal, started ascending straight away. It's quite hard going, bad road surface, very gradual, strong headwind, but just sort of put it in a low gear, just plodded up here. So for about the last 50 miles or so, I've had, heading north, I've had the Pennines on my right hand side, and then now we're on the edge of Lakeland, and you can probably see the big mountains of Lakeland over that way. And the M6, the A6, which is what I'm on, and the West Coast main line all sort of go up the narrow corridor. So I've been heading north since Chepstow yesterday morning, about 8 o'clock. And in a few miles time I'm going to do a major course direction change, hang a right, head over the Pennines, backbone of England, over the second big climb of the day, the Hartside Pass, and then take a left and carry on up north to my destination of Lindisfarne on the east coast of the country. So this is the typical rest stop. Try and support small shops as much as I can anyway. So I just have a sandwich and a cold drink, ideal because they've got a seat outside the shop. First thing I always do when I stop is recharge my Garmin. I just don't want it to lose its power at inconvenient times, so I'm always constantly topping it up. And the other thing I keep handy is some wet wipes. So as soon as I stop, I can sort of give me face a wipe down, give me hands a good clean, make sure I'm eating with clean hands, and then just spend about 10 minutes here chilling out. Quite often get stopped and asked what I'm doing actually, where I've been and how far I'm going, charity rides, that sort of thing. That's probably the most frequent question. Are you doing it for charity? So sometimes you just have to bite your lip and politely say no, I'm doing it for enjoyment. So I'm at the summit of Hartside Pass at the moment. That's 1,903 feet. After turning right at Pennines, heading east, I went straight into the mother of all headwinds, and just on the roll of 10 miles towards the start of the pass, it was brutal. Funny enough, the actual pass itself was actually a little bit easier, although it's a lot higher than Shap fell. It felt a lot easier the first half anyway, just because it was zigzagging, so the road kept changing directions, so I got a bit of respite from the wind. But you can probably tell by the sound of this little video, it's pretty windy up here, so I'm going to be putting a nylon gilet on, get myself back down to some lower altitude pretty damn quick. Well, I don't know if this is coming out at all, but it's 1:30 in the morning. I'm riding over to Linidisfarne on the causeway. Today's been a really hard day. I was hoping to get here, sort of say, before midnight. I'm not even going to get back on the mainland till well after 2 o'clock. So I'm going to have to find somewhere to have a very short sleep in my bivy bag, maybe an hour and 90 minutes, because I think tomorrow's going to be another hard day as well. We'll wait and see. Well, it's 1:45, I'm on Linidisfarne. I'm just having a 5-minute break to have a bit of food, just giving my Garmin a little bit of a charge. I got a warning about half an hour ago. Coming across the causeway was amazing. It took about 15 minutes. You just smell all the seawater around you. Really nice. Just before I was about to come over, a car stopped and made sure I was okay, confirmed the crossing times. So the causeway's was open from 10:15, and I need to get off the island by 4:30. So 5 minutes here, then I'll be back across, hopefully back on the mainland. 2:15, then I'll be looking for a bus shelter to just get my bivvy out and sleep for a couple of hours. This is amazing. I can hear the sea all around me. So gonna have a bit of a snack, 5 minutes, then I'll be on my way. Well, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. As you can probably see, there's a really nice sunrise behind me. I managed to find somewhere to sleep about 2:30 this morning. It was round the back of a motel underneath a fire escape. It's pretty isolated. I wasn't going to sort of offend anyone or disturb anyone. So I set my alarm for 4. I was up by about 4:15, packed up on the road by 4:30, and it's now coming up to 5 o'clock, which gives me 50 hours left of my time allowance. And at the moment, Garmin is saying it's going to take me 38. So I'm down to a 12-hour buffer now. I lost quite a bit of time yesterday because of not so much the terrain, it was the wind. It was just brutal, and the terrain was quite hard as well. So just shows this Audax is about building up buffers when you can, and just being prepared to give up some of those gains as and when you need them. You know, never get downhearted and give up. You know, just take it as it comes. Today, terrain-wise, is going to be quite a hard day, I think, but at the moment there's no wind about. If there is any wind, I think it's going to be behind me, but well, we'll see. So I'm going to hit the road now and try and get a good session in before all the shops open and I can stop somewhere and get some food. So there's just quite a nice shot of the sunrise coming up over Lindisfarne. It was pitch black last night. I have to say I didn't really see much. It was just the sounds and the smells and just basically the atmosphere really. But anyway, there you go, that's Holy Island behind me. Hope you can get it in this sort of picture. Well, it's about midday on Wednesday now. I'm approaching the 500 mile mark, which means I've just got a bit over 370 miles left to do. Changed direction this morning after leaving Lindisfarne due south, and it's been much easier today, relatively flat with the wind behind me. The bit of Northumberland coast was absolutely fantastic. It just makes me want to come back at a more leisurely place with my tent or even my motorbike and just do some exploring. That was absolutely stunning. Now sort of heading westwards towards what's going to be a quite difficult afternoon, I think. Going from north to south, traversing the Yorkshire Dales. There's 4 really big climbs, I know they're coming, so I'm sort of pacing myself. Legs feel a bit tired. I'm not attacking any hills. Whenever it's sort of downhill or flat and I've got a wind behind me, I'm trying to get some momentum going without sort of damaging myself. Trying to sort of conserve my energy and make it sort of last this afternoon, because I think it's going to be quite a difficult afternoon. Just a little bit of road here that I'll just pan round. There's been a bit of a landslip and the road's closed, but it's okay for cyclists to get through. It's quite good. A couple of ladies just coming past a no through roads sign to let me know it's okay, because whenever it says road closed I always risk going through. Occasionally you have to turn around and go back if a bridge is out, or really if work will refuse to let you through, but it's very rare. 9 times out of 10 you can get through. So just looking for a shop in the next few miles where I can get a sandwich, get some lunch, and then stock up on some energy for this afternoon. Right, on we. So here we are again, another bus shelter, another impromptu lunch. The bivvy worked really well last night. It's a sole emergency bivvy, very lightweight, packs up really small, 3.5 ounces, so negligible size, negligible weight. It's just like a couple of space blankets sewn together, bright orange on the outside for emergency sort of rescue use. Once I got inside it was really hot. In fact, I was so tired, mine started playing tricks. I actually thought it was raining at first, and the bag was leaking because drops of sort of sweat started dripping on me. Literally within a few minutes of getting in it just reflects so much of the heat. So I tried to sort of pull it up over my head to sort of keep any cold out, which was exactly the wrong thing to do. I actually needed to sort of like open it big time to sort of like let the air circulate and stop the build up of sweat, so that was good. Well impressed with that. Cost just over £10, I think. I was only in it about hour and a half. I doubt if I slept more than about 30 minutes. Just couldn't get comfortable. So I set off this morning, and then once the sun came up and it got warm, I started getting the dozies, and I just couldn't find a coffee anywhere for hours. So got the dozies, and I just stopped in a bus shelter and had a power nap. 15 minutes, felt as right as rain. Then almost straight after that I found somewhere with coffee, and then sort of sod it, I kept seeing coffee after coffee after coffee. A bit like buses really, nothing for ages, and loads coming on at once. Straight after lunch the climbing started, so I'm now quite high up. Just getting off a busy road, which I've been on for about half a mile, so that's not too bad. So I think the fun's about to start. so different from yesterday, because although it's going as high, if not a bit higher, yesterday, because of the wind, the headwind, you had to fight for every yard. You really fight. It felt like it was pushing you backwards. And for the sides, today you get some momentum there. It's so much easier. You can't put it into words how much easier it is than yesterday. It's not easy, but compared to yesterday, it's a dream. So I'm at the summit of the next of the day's killer hills. Edmund Bars was quite easy going up the way I went from the village of Edmund Bars. It was a very long gradual drag. The road surface was good, the wind was behind me. And then when you got to the top, it's a sheer plunge off, really steep, really quite tricky descending, and then straight out the valley up the other side to this one. And then there's a couple more coming my way. Looks like it's a sheer drop off this one, and then we're heading that way. I'm round about the coming up to 100-mile mark today, so not even halfway. So all I can do is plod on. Once I've got these hills out of the way, get some food down me, and I'm probably going to ride into the night. I think I might just ride the Travelodge off. If I get there before 3 o'clock, I'll go in and just have a bath to soothe my muscles and a change and a coffee. If I get there after 3, it's just not worth it, because I'd want to be leaving there at 4. So it may well be right into the night. Use my bivvy. We'll see anyway. 3 o'clock's really the cut-off point. If I get to Travelodge before 3 o'clock, I'll pop in. That's why I've got the bivvy. It just gives me the options to keep things flexible. If I don't leave that Travelodge by 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, I think I'm going to be struggling to get back to Bath within the time limit, so we'll see. Well, it's 8 o'clock at night now. I'm on the high road over to Leyburn. At the moment I've only done 128 miles. That's taken me all day since 4:45 this morning, so it just shows how hard it's been today. Stand by what I said earlier on. Terrain hard, definitely, but physically yesterday was a harder ride, and I did slightly higher mileage yesterday. So I'm going to drop down into Leyburn, get some supplies so I can ride through the night. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to write off the Travelodge. I'll just ride through till about 2 o'clock, 2:30, till I just can't stay awake any longer, or until it starts getting really cold. Find a bus shelter, bivvy for an hour and a half, and then I want to try and be on the road for 4 o'clock in the morning, because I'll have well over 200 miles to do tomorrow. As long as the wind stays coming from the north, blowing me down south, tomorrow should be a lot easier terrain wise. I hope it is anyway. I've definitely held a lot back, so I don't feel shattered or anything. I could have done with a hot bath tonight, that's for sure. That's how it's panned out. Not sure if this is coming out, but about 1:45 in the morning. I'm on this pretty amazing wooden bridge over the river. Loads of wildlife below, I can hear it, although I can't see it. There's the bridge. After I dropped off the moors down to Leyburn, I got so cold. I just got into Leyburn freezing, so I bought up some supplies in the village square so I could ride through the night. Put on my leg warmers, woolly hat, rain mac just to warm up, and then the landscape just changed unbelievably. Just suddenly turned flat. Vale of York, I guess. It's been quite fast actually with a tailwind, making good progress. Really started to get the dozies around about 10 o'clock. Had to just stop for try and have a power nap. I don't even think I shut my eyes much, but sort of did the trick. I was definitely falling asleep on the bike. I kept getting that jerk every now and again. I just knew I had to stop. Dangerous not to. Then stopped at a garage and had a coffin. That really sort of did the trick for about an hour or so. Kept me awake. Now I'm heading towards York. I'm going to get the other side of York. and then about 2 o'clock onwards I'm going to start looking for a bus shelter where I can just put my bivvy out and try and sleep, or get in it at least for an hour and a half, hopefully sleep. Definitely starting to struggle with tiredness at the moment. So it's 4:15 on Thursday. Today's my final day back to Bath. I'm in the middle of York, on the outskirts of York, in a church porchway. That's where I slept last night. Don't know if it comes out very well. Really nice cosy little church porch. Got the bivvy bag out. The bivvy bag worked much better last night. I just got a clothes bag and I used that as a pillow. Didn't make the mistake of getting into the bivvy with all my clothes on. I took a couple of layers off and I didn't sweat as much. Kept my woolly hat on. Put my head on the pillow. Next thing I know, the alarm's going off. Only an hour and a half, but I slept really, really well. Actually woke up a little bit shivery, but now I'm just okay. Actually, now I'm moving. Taking me 15 minutes from the alarm going off to being ready to go, which is ideal. So setting off for Bath now. Got a long day in front of me, the best part of 280 miles, but I've got 26 hours to do that in. Hope it's going to be enough, we'll see. Well, it's 10 to 1, I'm on the A6, just passed through Matlock Bath and Matlock. It's very, very hot today, so the route's going from, started in York at 4:15 this morning, goes pretty much due south down to Oxford, and then it'll swing left for the westwards rather, for the final 70 miles back to Bath. On Tuesday I'd built up accumulation of 20 odd hours over the time limit, and then just that was eaten into big time on Tuesday and Wednesday. Today's Thursday. I woke up this morning, I had about 4 hours in hand, and now it's down to just 2.5. It's not so much the speed, it's just the stopping and eating and buying the food, eating it, cleaning, just putting arm warmers on, taking arm warmers off, just it all adds up and it's eating into me time and hand. So I'd have been happier if I'd had about 6 or 7 hours, so it's going to be quite tight by the time I get back to Bath, but no need to flap, just hold your nerve and see, if I don't finish in the time limit, it's not the end of the world, but I'm going to, do me damnedest to do it. I was just feeling sleepy on the bike, so I just came over and lean on this wall and get some shade, and I just had a quick sort of power nap, literally about 5 minutes or so. There's a train going by the other side of the river. Then I just pressed on. The journey this morning took me past the Travelodge, which I passed at 8 AM. I mean, I wanted to leave there no later than 4 AM if I'd got there. So that tells you I'm like 4 hours at least behind schedule. And then it went through Barnsley, then through Sheffield, and it went over the Peak District. Well, that's what I'm in now, the Peak District. Went over a really big summit between Sheffield and Chattersfont House. I'm forgetting all the names, I'm really, really tired. And now I'm on the A6 heading down towards Derby and then Oxford mid-evening. So as long as I don't stop too much, I should be alright for time. I mean, just the only thing is I'm going to need some hot food ready for the night section, so if I just keep just keep riding steady, try and build up a little bit more time surplus if possible, or at least try not to give any more away. So that's today really. I think this will probably be the only video I do today actually, because I'm very tired, and also I just got to manage my time, not to lose the time I built up. So maybe the next one I'll do is from Bath. Well, it's 3:30 on Thursday afternoon. Somewhere south of Derby, after the last little video clip, I followed the River Derwent down out of the Peak District through Derby. It got really, really hot. Now I'm sort of skirting through the Midlands. To be honest, I don't really know where I am. Just following the GPS, seen a few signs of Burton, Tamworth, so I'm sort of in the ballpark. So going to take me down to Oxford, so I imagine I'll be getting there about 8, 9, 10 o'clock tonight, and then west from there back to Bath. My Garmin's saying at the moment, estimating I'll finish about 5:30 in the morning, which will be quite good. It's so hot at the moment. I've literally just stopped just for 5 minutes. I'm going to try and have a quick power nap just to get out of the blistering heat, to be honest. It's Friday morning, Friday the 13th, ironically. It's now 7:20, so a bit of an update. Yesterday afternoon, really hot, and I went to quite a low patch. I'm not going to say the name of the town because I don't want to offend anybody, but I passed through this town. It was so bland, and I think I probably had too much sun. It was uninspiring, and it was just hard work. And to cap it off, I hit rush hour, and the traffic was horrendous, and I just wasn't enjoying it. So I plodded on, and then I don't mind pushing myself physically hard and mentally hard, but there's got to be a reward, and the reward is the scenery. And after the Dales and the Pennines, it was just like a depth. So anyway, early evening it started to improve. I planned to ride through the night, so I knew I needed some hot food to get me through the night. And all of a sudden I realised I was on the Heart of England 300 route, and I just turned up into Meriden village with a cyclist war memorial on the green, and there was a fish and chip shop there. So I got some hot food there, pressed on into the evening, went to Leamington Spa, which was quite buzzy, and just suddenly it just from the depths, just straight back up again. Maybe it's hot food, maybe it's the sun gone down, I don't know. Combination of probably fatigue, low blood sugar, I don't know. But all of a sudden I went from the depths back to the highs, so that was okay. And then when the sun went down, it cooled. And cut long story short, about 11 o'clock, I was out in the middle of Oxfordshire, still with over 100 miles to go, and just fatigue got me. I was hallucinating, and well, I was riding along this really dark country lane, and where my dynamo was lighting up the road, it felt like I was riding along a plinth, and either side there was a big drop, and I just knew it was time to just call it a night. So I stopped at a village, found a church porch, just put my bivy bag out, and slept for 6 or 7 hours. Woke up about 6 o'clock this morning. Well, in fact, I woke up every hour because churches tend to have bells attached to them, and every hour it's bong, 2 o'clock, bong, bong, and I saw the funny side of it. I thought, well, at least I'm not going to sleep in. And then ironically I did. I just slept through till 6. I hadn't set the alarm or anything. I was just so spaced out. So phoned home, let Linda know I'm going to be about 8 hours late. It's quite cool this morning, a bit misty, there's quite a strong wind, just complete contrast to yesterday. So now it's through Oxford, going to try and stop and get some food there, use the toilet, just stock up on water, and then the final 70 miles back to Bath. So I'm not going to do the riding under 98 hours, but it's 87 miles to go. And the reason that's so significant is my Garmin counts down the distances rather than accumulating. But for some reason, anything over 100 miles, it only does it in multiples of 10 miles. So 170 would be 17, 160, 16, etc. But for some strange reason, between 119 and 111, it will do triple digits. So it's not a lack of digits. But anyway, when I left home on Monday, it's ages ago, it said 87, which was actually 871 miles to go. And I remember thinking at the top of my road, wonder where I'll be when it actually gets to 87, what state will I be in, you know, where will I be and what experiences will I have had. And so I've just recording it really, 87 miles to go, and counting down's always good, because rather than the miles just accumulating, which really mean nothing unless you're a sort of number counter, as they count down you're sort of approaching the end of a goal. It's like a defined point you're heading for, almost like a blast off of a rocket as you're counting down, and as you're tiring, it works for me anyway. It really mentally lifts me. 50 miles to go, 35 miles to go, 20, 10. When you get to 10 it starts going down in multiples of tenths of a mile, so 9.8, 9.7. They're just massive motivational lifts for me. And that one, 87 has been today, and makes me wonder if 87 will be from now on as well. You never know, but that's just how I am, is how I work, and 87 miles to go. So I'm at 1300 kilometres, 100 kilometres to go. I'm on familiar roads now. I'm heading west from Oxford, come through Cumnor, Appleton, heading towards Shrivenham, Highworth, and then up to Cirencester, Malmesbury, before I head south on the Fosse Way back into Bath. Just stopped at Malmesbury for an ice cream and a cold drink. Now, just past Shurston, on my way to Gritterton. The Garmin's just clicked down from 20 to 19 miles to go, so feeling pretty damn good actually. So in Malmesbury, somebody started talking to me, interested in where I've been. So I did my usual, I just said where I come from that morning, said Oxford. Seemed quite impressed with that. If I'd said Lindisfarne, they'd have probably thought I was bonkers, or I'd have thought I was bonkers. I learnt in America never to sort of say where I was heading or where I'd come from, because the distances were just so great. And then you had to spend, felt like an hour explaining what you're doing and why. So it just used to say, I learnt just to say the next big place I was heading to, like Phoenix or wherever. I've done it ever since. Oh yeah. So just crossed the road north of Chippenham, joining the Fosse Way now, which is a old Roman road, dead straight, bangs over all the contours rather than going around them. It's a bit like Hadrian's Wall around there. When I had that terrible headwind on Tuesday, the roads were so straight, it was just mind-blowing really how hard it was. You could just see for miles, and you just knew how far you had to go. The scenery was stunning, which has sort of saved it for me really. So this next few miles is up and down, roller coaster, but I love coming in the Bath this way. It's just really sums up the end of a long ride. And then eventually there's a hill that takes you up to Culloden Airfield, along the side of the old Culloden Airfield, and the last little grind up there is like handlebar creaking, one of those sort of climbs you've really got to give it everything just to get up there. So I'm going to stop and do a last bit of film there, just because I was thinking about this stretch the other day. It kept me going over some of the long hard stretches in the Dales and the Pennines. So that's it, I've just climbed up that last big killer hill up to Culloden Airfield. It's a couple of miles along the Fosse Way now. Quite high up, then there's a massive long drop down into Bath. All Bath cyclists and plenty of people from around the area will know Banner Down. It's just a massive long hill. Get superb views of Bath as you descend into it. Then through the centre of Bath to my house. 7.1 miles to go from here. This particular hill kept me going on some of the really long ones this week. I don't know what made me think about it, but I just thought at the time on some of the long hills, I just wasn't getting down at all. I was just sat there twiddling away, not being too bothered about it, and suddenly I remembered this hill and just came into my mind. I thought, how good is it going to be when you get to Bath at the end? So somehow this hill kept me going during this week on some pretty long climbs. The ride with GPS route that I've put into my Garmin predicts I'm going to have climbed 41,000 feet, which sounds rather a lot to me, and most of that is condensed in the middle, the Tuesday and the Wednesday. It's not until I upload the route onto the computer I'll sort of see what I've actually done, because quite often what they predict is wildly out. But anyway, just to celebrate, I'm going to have a finger of Twix and next stop home.